Hello again and welcome back to the Retro Phone Archive, a video series in which I have a look at odd, strange, weird, stupid and unique phones from over the years. And what we have to look at today is a Nokia N86, presumably a Nokia N86. While it may look like one, it certainly is not one. It is a clone, in case you haven't wondered by the title. Yes, this is a clone of an N86, a phone which I don't have, which I wish I would have had because I would have compared it with it and all that stuff. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Let's have a look at this device. So straight away with the front of the phone, we can see the screen size is a little bit smaller than what it should be. The screen should be at least about here on the real deal, so that's obviously a telltale sign. The next telltale sign is a very, very simple and easy one, and I'll show you. There we go. Can you see it now? Just have some time to look at that there. It's a NDKLA. Yep, that's an N, that's a D, that's a K, that's an L, and that's an A. But if you sort of put it away, kind of looks like it says Nokia, doesn't it? Sneaky bastards. Anyways, so we have the normal standard keys, which are on the real deal. They'll feel quite responsive. Hopefully they are. Now the next little thing is that it's supposed to have some sort of a glass design at the front. This is all plastic, unfortunately, because it's a clone. And the top of the phone here has a front-facing camera. No, it doesn't. Now, I was going to say the front-facing camera, but there is no front-facing camera. I didn't even realize this. The earpiece here doesn't have a little groove that it sits in, sort of thing, so that's another sign as well. Around the phone, we have two holes for dual speakers. Hopefully they are dual speakers. A camera shutter button and the volume rocker, which has an indent for down and an indent for up. Then at the bottom here, we should have a little tiny hole there for a microphone, probably a little pipe for a lanyard or something. On the other side, a simple lock switch. And at the top here, which kind of says I'm a clone, is that it has the old style pin Nokia charger. The real deal doesn't have this, it's actually missing, and that's kind of what it should look like there, but instead they've put that on there, and a micro USB port, but you can charge via that, and you can charge via that as well. And it has a headphone jack. Headphone jack on a clone. I know, amazing. And there is the power button. Coming to the rear of the phone, we can see the NDKLA Nokia, NDKLA, or however you want to pronounce it. But they've got the N series, right? That's a positive. And the camera is this thing here. Digital camera, high clearly, if you can clearly see that. So there is a dual flash mechanism in that little thing. Hopefully they both work. And sliding down this presents us with the camera, which you can see is just a little tiny shitty camera. Probably not going to do terribly much, but we will see. There is no kickstand as well in this model. I don't think there is. So as you should know, the N86 is a dual slider phone in the likes of the N95 and N96, etc, etc. So is this clone a dual slider? Yes. That it is. It certainly is a dual slider and has all the buttons that are on the real deal. So it'll be interesting to see if this actually does work or not. And just flipping it over, you can see it's just a white backplate as well. Usually it's silver, I believe, but yeah, it's just a plastic sort of material. The whole construction of the phone is pretty much just all plastic. It's all just a chrome finish, plasticky front, plastic this, plastic that, whereas it's supposed to have metal detailing around the real deal. Taking the back cover off, which is just simple as that. There's nothing special there. We have a Nokia BL5K battery in here, which is a 1300 milliamp hour. This is actually a genuine one, by the way. You can see by the hologram. Isn't that cool? Here is inside the N86. We can see that it says N86 GSM. There's the IMEI serial number from 2009. I assume it's from 2009. Some little sticker, which I have seen in plenty of clones before. Now, another thing is that there was no dual SIM version of this phone. However, this one is a dual SIM model. No, there is no kickstand on here, so that is another sign that this is a fake. The SD card goes in here. I've got a 512 meg in there already loaded up, so that'll be good. Otherwise, yeah, there's not really much else. There are definitely speakers in there, I would say. What I'm going to do is put a SIM card in here that's 3G, just to see if this actually does pick up any 3G signals. I very much doubt it, but hey, you never know. I'll put some SIM cards in, and then we'll go ahead and start having a look at this phone. So the real deal has an 8 megapixel camera and 8 gig of ROM built into it. This one doesn't, I'm pretty sure of it. So anyways, now I believe this phone powers on faster than any other phone I've ever seen. So I'm gonna push power button now. Vibrated. and we're in. That was pretty fast, because it's not Symbian. It would have taken about 3 years if it was Symbian. There we go, you can see all the buttons illuminating up. It looks like just... We'll get to that vibration in a second, but yeah, you can see the LEDs under there. They're not really that bright, but there you go. And if we do that to the top ones, they don't illuminate. Oh, yes they do. One illuminates. Hooray. And yes, it does open the music application straight away, which is a good sign. So I've just checked, and unfortunately, this doesn't support 3G, which was expected, I guess. So there you go. If you want to use it here in Australia, it's unfortunate. It's not going to work. Now we're going to be getting into the details of the phone. There's one really strange feature that comes with this phone straight out of the package, and it's this. The thing vibrates every time you press a key. So let's just open up the keypad. Every time you press a button, any button. So I believe I'm going to have to turn that little setting off. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll continue on. Hooray! It doesn't exist anymore. Isn't that great? See, doesn't do it now. So I'll just quickly go over the buttons first. So everything here does work, all the keypad stuff works. It does pressing the camera button open the camera. Yes, it does, but I've got the little thing shut, so that's fine. Does the volume rockers work? Yes, they do. And the lock switch, does it unlock the phone? Yes, it does, and yes, it does. Cool. So even for a clone, it's not that bad of a screen. I mean, it does flicker sort of when it's inactive for a little bit, but once you let the brightness come back up again, it's actually quite good. And I don't even know, it might be 240 by 320, but yeah, it's pretty clear, I will say that. And straight away you can see that it has the Symbian S60 interface, which was common for those Nokia phones back then. It has a pretty faithful looking Symbian layout, I will say that. And yes, you just seen me press the screen. This has a full touch screen built into it, unlike the real deal. So you can use this and go ahead and do whatever you want using a touchscreen. But for simplicity's sakes for this review, I'll just use the buttons, and you can't really see it. You'll just see me controlling it like this. But, like, it's not really ideal to use a 2.4-inch screen as a touchscreen, because you're going to be just... I mean, especially for this as well, considering it's resistive, it's not that great, but... Anywho, let's get on with it instead of rambling. So yes, the functionality of the Symbian interface does work. You can open up everything you need to open up here, except, yeah, they don't really open up the right things, I don't think. Yeah, user profiles, music, yep. It's an okay calculator, I guess, but yeah, you use touchscreen for that. So let's open up this, and straight away we can see phone book, as we've had a look at before. There's not much to have a look at. It is just, well, it's phone book. Messages, call center, settings. Let's have a look in settings quickly. Dual SIM settings, only SIM 1 open, only SIM 2 open, dual SIM open, yes, but can't really do much with it because it's only 2G. Pen calibration, well, this doesn't come with a pen. It probably did in its box, but unfortunately, yeah, I don't have one. I mean, I could just use anything, but yeah. There is an accelerometer built into this with actual different functions for it, which is quite surprising because most clones from this time period didn't actually include an accelerometer. Phone setup, magic menu. Ooh, you can have different menus and stuff. Oh, look at that! Oh my god, that's so tacky. Just try curve quickly. Oh, look at that 3D capability right there. That's something you don't see every day. Right, security setup. I guess there's nothing much in there. Restore factory settings. Sound effect. Audio effect. Oh, equalizer. Okay. Yep, fair enough. Okie dokie. Moving into multimedia, there is an audio player, camera, image viewer, video recorder, and video player. Sound recorder, FM radio. Pretty standard with all this sort of stuff, so we will get back to that. There is a file manager built into it. So it only shows memory card. Can we see if there's I may have to connect this to my computer and see what it says, but it's only just saying 512 meg for the memory card, which is a little strange. Fun and games. Well, there's not much here. It's just solitaire. That's it. There's no magic sushi or puzzle or anything like that. It's just what you see is what you get. Not that interesting. User profiles, pretty much, yeah, the same as the real deal. organizer, calendar to do an alarm, very basic stuff. I remember where I bought this from. I bought this from my local pawn shop for $10, I believe, because they thought it was the real thing when they got it. They were wrong. Services, WAP, yep, extra, calculator, currency, all the sort of same stuff that you would see on a clone. Bluetooth, yes, it does work. Now, as you can see, there is no Wi-Fi, so that's another thing that this clone lacks from the real deal is Wi-Fi. And that's pretty much it in terms of functionality. There's not much else to really go by. It's a Symbian layout, and that's about it. It's just a skin on a sort of a Java operating system. That's really it. Like the whole iPhone skin on those Java operating systems on the iPhone clones that I've had a look at. So I just had some issues with trying to charge this. The USB doesn't quite work, whereas this works much better. So I'll just have to keep it on life support for the remaining bit of this video. Well, now that I'm done with looking around the phone and testing out the functionality, I guess it's time to jump into the speaker test, I guess, because we can now use these little bits. Right, so coming into here, if we just press play, it starts playing it. So headphone users, you have been warned. Just quickly before I go into the speaker test, these actually, these don't fast forward or anything like that. They just simply skip, next, and stop, play. That's it. That's all they do. Anyways. While not the loudest speaker in the world, it certainly does work, and they are dual speakers, they're just not of the best quality. Now I think it's time that I do the camera test to see what capabilities this does have. Right, so here's the video test for the fake N86. Unfortunately I can't put any flash on, so this is what I'm kind of stuck with. I would have gone outside and tested it, but it's kind of late at night. As you can see, colours are pretty washed out and iffy. Alright, so the camera test is done. I haven't looked at it yet, so I will have to put my thoughts in while editing, but I'm likely to say it's crap, unfortunately. If I'd done a video in decent lighting, it might have been a little bit better, but I would say it's probably not going to help, considering, you know, it's a clone and all. Now, what I wanted to also test was the headphone jack. Too good to be true? Maybe. No. Well, here's my Beat Studios. Jesus. Either there's a decent amp built into here or God knows what. That's quite amazing, actually. Now, I don't want to do the next bit. I don't want to tear it down. But I kind of want to tear it down just to see what's inside of it. So I'm going to bite the bullet and do it. I'll just be really, really careful in doing so. But anyways, let me just switch this thing off. So it does a welcome chime and a goodbye chime, and it says welcome and goodbye. So there you go. That's it so far. So let's do a little bit of a teardown and see what's inside of it. Before I tear this down, I connected this to my computer, and it does not show anything, doesn't detect, doesn't do anything. The USB port sort of recognizes it, but it doesn't install anything or do anything, so no idea what's going on there. So the first little interesting tidbit that I want to show is I've just taken the top casing off, which is just here. So this is just the a daughter board for the secondary SIM card slot, or first SIM card slot, and the micro SD card slot as well. And it all connects via a little Lego. Yeah, there's this small little switch here, but it actually goes unused because the little slider mechanism on the back housing here doesn't actually connect with this. So I might turn it back on and just sort of press it and see what it does. You never know. Very complicated procedure in taking this apart, but here's the main screen assembly just here with just one flex ribbon. Looks like the real deal. Slides both ways. Feels really heavy, this part, so they might have put a weight in here, maybe. The back piece here with the dual speakers, there is one speaker here and the other one's just here, so that kind of fires through just up to there. So that's not as powerful as that one, I don't think, because they're different sizes. Look, if I put it over, you can see that's certainly bigger than that one there. You see the charger port and headphones stuff all connects to the board. But yeah, it was a bit of a challenge getting that off because there was this sticker here that I had to sort of half remove, and I don't know. Here is the motherboard itself, so let's have a look here. We have, I've seen this MediaTek chipset before, so we have the MT6225A. That might be the amp there, I would say. I'm not too sure, but I think that would be. The little camera just there, the little nubbin. There is quite a lot of chips on this board. There's another one there. But I'm going to have to say one of them is definitely an amp, because that sounded too good when I plugged my headphones in. The microphone just there. I'll try to get this little part off. Hopefully it just comes straight off, and I'll show you what's under that. Yeah, so not much under that board. Unfortunately, it's just a little tiny chip there. But I will put this sucker back together, and I will let you all know what chips and stuff that this thing may be running. Let me put this thing back together and I'll finish the review. So I just want to see what this little switch does here. So if I just toggle the switch, it does open the camera. So there you go. It does do it. But if I use this, I'll put this back on and I'll show you what it does. Whereas now that I've got the back casing off, if I just move this down, nothing happens. So maybe they intended for it to have an actual mechanism where you would slide this down like the real deal and it would open up the camera, but they just got too lazy for it. So that's the fake N86. I've had a look at it. It functions okay. Yeah, the camera's probably not the best, speakers aren't the best, but for a clone back in, what, 2009, this wouldn't have been too bad, but the iPhone clones are sort of better than this. But I'm still quite impressed with this as a clone, even if it's a NDKLA or whatever you want to name it. And the fact that it does have a touchscreen as well, I think is another neat bonus. So anyways, if you want to read the specs, they're all at the side here. Feel free to pause the video to have a look through them all. All the chips are specified as well. This little gem was released back in 2009. I've had enough of it now. I'm ready to move on to another one. So I've got more videos for more phones that I'm going to have a look at and have a laugh at and all that sort of stuff. But don't worry, there will be more shoes. If you're watching this and wondering, where's the shoe reviews? Where are they? They are coming. It's just a matter of waiting and all that stuff. So anyways, I'll make a separate video for that. Okay, enough of me rambling. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you like this content, feel free to leave a like or a dislike if you didn't. Thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.